Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and I think all ages, Mike. I'm not sure if I have fucking toddlers as an audience, but welcome to the Namrok podcast. And as I promised, I have guests on my podcast, and joining me today is my old friend, teammate, confidant, old party buddy back in the day. This is Mike Morales from Hay Street, and if I can remember this one, is it Via Campo?
Via Nina.
Via Nina. Yes, way back, dude. Thanks for coming on,
and
man.
My cousin. That's where we used to hang out.
Yeah. Long story short, with me and Mike, we are a year apart.
I think 2 years, right? Because you're
99.
Yeah, I'm 2001. So.
2001. So we were both on the track team. He wrestled. I played football. We'll talk a little bit about that drama because to this day,
different side of the tracks.
Yeah,
it was like a movie.
To this day, I still see that fucking divisiveness in sports, especially in football and wrestling, like I do in the real world. But let me just get to just a basic synopsis of what today's podcast is going to be, and I wanted Mike's take on it because he was so willing to come on and basically offer his perspective on this thing that I've been encountering a lot in my profession. And quite frankly, I don't know the cause of it, but in a nutshell, Mike, it's wrong. I don't know. Is this thing called ghosting.
Yeah.
A lot of, let me give you an example. So say, for example, you have an 18-year-old that doesn't have any work experience, applies at McDonald's, for example, goes through the interview, all flying colors, right? And then all of a sudden, hey, it's your first day, radio silence.
Yeah, no one shows up.
How the fuck do you explain that? And that is just, it's wrong. Think of yourself too, like if you were an employer, you found the quote unquote purple unicorn, as they like to call it. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, a person like you already know you, Mike. You wouldn't go out of your way to say, hey, are you okay? Hey, are you alive? If they don't fucking show up, they don't show up. Yeah, I'm the same way.
You already gave them a handout by giving them the job. So if they want it, you show up for it.
Right. So show up. That's 90% of the fucking job. The rest, okay, then you progress, you train, you observe. You're like a sponge and you grow with the company, regardless of the occupation. Yeah. However, this trend has been happening not only in schools, both public and private. It's now happening in the tech world, especially in Silicon Valley, which I'm so deathly surprised because as you saw the kid on the side of the freeway with a sign saying, well, hungry for success, please take a resume.
Yeah. I think what's happened is now the exception has become the norm. You would think that there's hundreds, thousands of people out there trying to get their resume out there, but it's not. No, you get a homeless guy who says, I'm going to go do this. And I think that's why we spread those stories because this is what work is supposed to be about. You know? The guy was desperate, obviously, homeless, looking for a job. And then he thinks of an idea to say, hey, I'm not just going to ask for money. I'm going to try and get a job. Right. And that guy obviously has work ethic. Yeah. And I believe what it comes down to is entitlement. You get these kids that, and I was looking at a story today on Facebook about this referee who made his own Facebook page, and he'll pay you $100 if you report parents acting badly at kids' sporting events.
Wow!
So it made me think of that because when you sent me this thing, it was like, wait a minute, that's because my son is so special that if he doesn't get the call going his way, or he doesn't get enough time, then I'm going to yell at you and I'm going to defend my son and everything.
It's the whole participation trophy thing.
We take away from the work ethic of the kids where, hey, maybe your kid's not in this play group or maybe he's just not good enough, and people don't want to accept that anymore.
They don't, because perfect example is, like I mentioned, the participation trophy thing. It's like, okay, when do you start defining in an age for, I don't know, maybe a little past a toddler, maybe like my son's 3 years old right now. I make sure if I beat him in something, I let him know, like, I won. Yeah. And he's like, no, I won. And he goes, no, I clearly won. And I explained to him how, of course, he's not going to understand yet because he's only 3. But I'm not going to be like, yay, good job. Everyone gets a fucking star in their forehead, whatever.
I mean, it's basically defining rules for children.
Yeah.
Which I believe, I guess nowadays parents don't do that. They don't define the rules for a kid and say, hey, this is how you win. And I'll teach you how to win. And you're going to lose a couple times.
Right.
And then eventually you'll get the hang of it and you'll learn. And then you'll start winning.
Now, how the fuck do you explain this ghosting thing? It's like, do they think in their head that they're winning by not showing up? And apparently, no contact is a form of contact for them, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it comes down to the entitlement thing where it's just that their life is so important at that moment that they don't have to. I mean, I guess they feel that they don't have to do anything.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, I got this job. But, I don't feel like going to today wasn't my day, And it's like, well, that's not the way life works. And we're learning now that you look at the studies at colleges nowadays that more kids are graduating with degrees, yet less kids have basic knowledge. So how is that possible?
Absolutely true.
That's
I see it here day in and day out.
Yeah, and so you're basically saying if you show up and do the bare minimum and do whatever you want, we'll still pass you. Yeah. And then once you hit the workforce, the roles are reversed, and these kids still have that mindset where it's like, oh, well, I got the job already, so you know what? I'm going to take a personal day, so let me go ahead and do that and not tell anybody. Day. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what is that?
It's like you haven't even got the job.
When I used to work part-time, it was like that was like the golden chest of, I'm going to get vacation time.
Like I clearly remember, not to sound like a reminiscent old man, I remember when you worked at the record shop at FYE, and I worked at the mall as well, and we took pride in fucking aggregating and collecting vacation time.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, you work your ass off to get a break, that much needed break. Now it's like, you get the job, okay, cool, I'm just not going to show up. I don't fucking
okay, back at that record store, I mean, that was my first job, well, second job.
That was awesome. It was good times,
worked at the 99-cent store before that.
That was awesome, too.
And then I went to the record store, and the record store was like heaven. I was like, man, I got to be around music all the time, which I love music. But, I mean, I would go out party the night before, and I would show up like hungover to work. And my boss would know. Man, my boss would be like, you're hungover, right? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I know how it is. Do your work though, and it was cool. We had a give and take. It wasn't like, hey, and we had to work for that job. The way, because remember it used to be Record Town.
Yes, I remember that.
It was Record Town, and what they did was they got about 100 employees.
Yeah,
and they said we're going to move from Record Town to FYE.
Yeah,
so your job is to move everything. We didn't get I don't think we got paid for it. It was whoever was the best worker would get the 3 open positions they had. So we were just working. Okay, first move all these CD cases. Secondly, start alphabetizing everything. And then luckily, I had the job next to the main hiring manager, so I just kept saying, "Oh, don't forget, my name is Mike Morales." So and she even said, she was like, "You were kind of annoying, but when it came to the interview process, I remembered your name and you were working."
Great,
and I was like, "Yeah." It was work first and then get the reward later. Yeah. Where now kids just want where's my reward? I showed up. Look at me.
Do you okay? And that boils down to, is it a parenting issue? And I want to say yes, but how do you explain the people that are latchkey? That don't really have that guidance. Where the fuck are they learning that from? Other kids?
It's not a parenting issue. It's a societal issue.
Yeah.
We have gone so far as a society to allow mediocrity, and you see it and honestly, technology has made us lazier.
Big time.
And
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, trust me, technology is amazing. But when you give your 2-year-old the iPad and you give them this and, make me happy now. Yeah. My son, my youngest son is 8. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that kid can do things on the computer that I'm like, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
But that's all but when he gets home, it's like, I'm going to play video games on my phone. Remember back in the day, it was the Nintendo. Yeah. And if dad was watching TV, you couldn't play Nintendo. Nope. And now it's like, dad's watching TV.
Switch. Yeah, that's why.
And dad's watching TV. I'm gonna go on my phone and play video games real quick. And it's that, And so we kind of have a rule. I mean, if we're not doing anything, everyone's free. Go ahead, play your games. But if we're gonna do something, put your phone down. Yep. It's time to do stuff.
Exactly.
But now it's about, I want it now. I'm gonna do this right now, and let me have it. And it's a society thing. Because you see those latchkey kids that they go to school, they come home, they do their homework, and it's like, you don't learn that, but you see from your friends. And I remember back in our day, it was probably I guess maybe having a car. Like that
was the biggest deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would go home and tell my mom and be like, my homie has a car that his aunt bought him, and she's like, well, your aunt don't got money, so you ain't getting a car. So
I forget who in the group had one. I'm pretty sure it wasn't your cousin.
No.
But with that being said, it was like, okay. And I hate sounding like the reminiscent old man, but sometimes I have to tell people like, because we had to hear reminiscent old men from the 70s and the 80s.
Uphill both ways in the snow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, but for those of you who don't know, Mike and I grew up in the mid like 90s to early 2000s when shit was turmoil, man.
We're considered millennials, you know that.
I don't know why. We're like stuck in between from Gen X and the millennia. It's like, okay,
we know how to set a VCR, but we know how to use a computer.
Yeah, it's like I remember growing up without technology. Clearly, I remember holding record and play and pause and calling in the fucking radio station. It was a pirate radio, 100.3, to request "Welcome to the Jungle" from fucking.
I remember staying up till like 2 a.m. calling Star to request songs that I wanted. Remember Star 8.7? That's what is that now?
It's actually alt. It's alt something. I don't know, but the whole thing is like, I have to reminisce like the stubborn old man, because that's the only way. For some reason, and this is a weird observation, Mike, and you should probably try it for your own research. Try talking about the 90s to this youth now. They're all fucking ears, though. Yeah. Because they don't know what it was like back then, but yet we can still relate to them now. We just don't. We're too young to be old, too old to be young is my whole thing.
And it was funny that you say, you bring up the analogy of the old man, because as I was driving up here, that's the first thing that came to my mind was like, the old man, get off my lawn, you know? But as I was driving here, I was like, what if the old man was right? You know, what if all this time we were like, man, the old man we thought he was complaining about everything, but it turns out he was right. He was the one that just had everything and knew what it took. And then he sees us get it a little bit easier than he had it. Yeah. And then we've given it a little bit easier to our kids. And it's like, damn,
but what's funny, what's funny, dude, is it's not just here. I'm seeing it in other countries too.
Well, yeah.
I'm seeing it in Germany. I'm seeing it in China. I'm seeing it definitely in Mexico and Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's just like, and then there's a significance factor. They do that because they want to feel special. When in fact, hard work, dedication, and, just being a good fucking person in general is the ultimate contribution to not only society. That's why we have all these societal issues too, because it's the me generation.
Yeah. I mean,
nobody wants to contribute anymore.
No, you want to get everything for free, but in some books that I've read and everything, it's the ultimate, I guess, satisfaction is that when you actually work for something and you see the fruit of your labors.
Correct.
And that brings, but we don't show anybody that anymore. It's like, I mean, like I'll tell my kids, like I'll admit, I have 2 boys. Mm-hmm. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed,
They're not supposed to be Einstein in either, right?
And they're telling me like, Dad, I'm gonna go to college. And I said, if you go to college, that's fine. I said, but don't, because they have these classes. Yeah. Like, oh, this is for college prep. And I tell them, look, that's fine. You want to go to college? Great. I went to college for a year and a half. Yeah. And I said, no, I'm just gonna join the working force. I can't do it. Yeah. I said, but you got to remember, the world needs ditch diggers too.
They do.
And and so my oldest son, he's 12, and he's like, and he came to me one day and was like, what if I become an electrician? And I was like, become an electrician then, because people need electricity. Yeah. The people always need someone to come and fix their lights, fix their radios, fix whatever. And you could be that person.
Yeah. Set up studios.
Yeah. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, people need that. You can't just, it's not just, I'm going to go be this great philosopher, this great thinker, Yeah. And the reason I didn't like college was because this is, back,
2001, 2002, so roughly.
Almost 20 years ago, is that you had to follow what their guidelines were, So I wanted to just do general ed. I want to be an English major. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can take some English classes. They're like, oh, you got to take science, like math
Yeah.
and some other stuff. I said, why do I need to take math? Like, why
it's
do
part
I?
of the
and what they said was, we want you to be a well-rounded individual. and
in
so,
case we need you to sub for
Yeah.
math class when
So,
you're not going to teach shit anyway.
I saw this thing on Facebook, and it said, I'm 30 years old and I've never used algebra once in my life. And I was like,
okay,
that's
but
true.
think about that. Think about that, Mike. What percentage of schools are teaching life math?
Yeah, they're not.
They need to. It's like from
Remember home ec?
Oh my
you learn how
God,
to
man.
Cook, and then I think 8th grade, I learned how to cook soup and eggs and stuff.
Fitness and was it a health and wellness, health and
Something
fitness?
like that. Health
Yeah.
science or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you see the baby being born.
you see my buddy Justin in the background. No, I remember clearly. And by the way, for those of you who don't have video and are listening to this, Mike looks just like a regular dude that I grew up with in San Gabriel Valley, Montebello. He has a tag, and he's known for being a conservative. Mm-hmm. And this goes back to the shit that people were telling me to not have these types of people on my podcast, and I'm like, wait the fuck, man, wait. I can have a fucking Satanist on here if I wanted to. Yeah. But my thing is, and this is where
a Satanist is still better than a conservative in today's society.
So, my thing is, and let this be a lesson to a lot of you listening. If everyone had the exact same views as you would die of boredom. Period. You need people to have different perspective, different beliefs, different faiths, different outlooks, because you don't learn shit when you're comfortable. That's the big deal with, especially on social media. A lot of people give me shit because, of course, okay, first and foremost, people take it too seriously.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second is it's very, very hard to get sarcasm across when you're typing. Especially with me, that's why I've been banned several times from the fucking internet.
Yeah. They just did a video. I don't know if you know who Dennis Prager is.
I do. Yes.
So he does at Prager University.
Is it Prager or Prager?
Prager,
yes.
So
Prager
he just did one with Will Witt. Not Will Witt. This other comedian who's been banned by like left wing organizations, and he said because. When Black Panther came out, which was the movie for black people, you know, which it was a good movie, and I get it.
It was amazing. Yeah.
He said, "Oh, no white people in it. Who am I going to relate with?" And then Don Cheadle and some other actor came and said, "Well, you don't know what it's like to," and it's like he was making a joke. You know, he was making a joke, and remember back in the Let's go back before our time. Blazing Saddles. Okay.
Yeah. Well, perfect example.
Hilarious.
Perfect example.
You can't get it. What's the name? Mel Brooks would have been hung if he did that.
If that was made now,
it
would. I don't even think it would have passed QC.
Yeah,
they would be shelved.
And if you look at our parents, they were like, Blazing Saddles was hilarious. You know?
To this day, that was one of the first films I saw.
You look at, I mean, I always see every time a Don Rickles video shows up on my Facebook feed, I have to repost it because you look at the jokes that he said, and it was like, and it was funny because
Richard Pryor wasn't no different.
Yeah, the people knew that it was a joke and it was funny, and he was trying to make fun of something, and he wasn't trying to hurt you. He was trying to make you laugh, and if people used to be able to laugh at themselves, you know. It kind of goes back to like this entitlement thing where like I'm special, you know, because
it's a significance thing.
There's one time I was at work, right, and I was just delivering these like tags to people's doors, right, and there's a little patio, so I went up 2 steps, hang a tag, walk down 2 steps. Well, I happened to forget that the 2 steps were there, right?
Oh, shit.
So I hang a tag, I turn around, and bloof, just ate it on the floor, right? I got up laughing, and I was like, and I looked around, I was like, nobody saw that. And then I looked to the corner, and these 2 gardeners sitting in their truck eating their breakfast, busting up, right?
Shit,
laughing their ass. And I thought, you know what? At least you guys got some pleasure out of that. You know, I said, you know, that would have gone to waste if it was just me, but you guys were there, and you guys saw it. So, you know. And they saw me.
You didn't turn around and start fucking.
Yeah, I didn't get mad at the floor for not being there.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. Fuck, man. You were all right though, right?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! That sounds like 2 fucking steps and then flat.
No, it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's like
because it's happened before when no one's been there.
Yeah,
and like I got up and I was like, man, that was a waste of a fall.
Well,
Like,
fuck. Some of these the architecture in some of these films are just fucking ridiculous, man. It's like it's beautiful, but like there's always one thing.
Yeah,
always one fucking thing. But no, the other thing I wanted to mention to you listeners is Mike has been very vocal about well, not just this generation's perspective and I guess stance in the work in the labor force, but also like a lot of misconceptions about what it takes to be successful. I know I think this is back when I had my previous profile and it got fucking removed. I had screamed at somebody in bold caps, obviously, because I guess bold caps is the way you scream at people.
Yelling and
about this thing about feminism. So I got blasted for one because I specifically said, and this is what, you know, I think this is what kind of got me banned, I guess you could say, along with other bullshit. Yes, there are things that men can successfully do that women can't do, and vice versa. Okay, and everyone's like, okay, well, name one. And I started naming a bunch, and then that's when the whole CrossFit conversation came about. Yeah. But what I wanted to let people know is that, look, I'm not a woman hater. I'm not. And I don't think Mike is either, because he's married, so am I. But please do understand that there are some things that you cannot, it's not apples and oranges. It's literally a big fucking solid stone and a little feeble fucking animal. The stone will crush the animal. That's here's an example. I remember Joe Rogan, for example. He made a bit about how the White House
guarding the White House. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was about to bring that up.
There was a woman guarding. Okay, that's a perfect example. Okay, even if it was Ronda Rousey guarding the White House and Shaq came in.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. She doesn't stand a chance. She can try.
No matter her training, and they're, oh well, you know, you're gonna bring in all the specifics of it, but I mean, she's gonna have trouble.
Right.
I mean, Ronda Rousey might have trouble with me or you just because we outweigh her by like 100 pounds.
Because all you have to do is carry your weight around correctly, and that's what happens. So
it's nothing to be like, oh well, she's trained in this. She's trained in this. And just like if I weighed 100 pounds soaking wet and I went up against you, I would have trouble with that.
Exactly.
You know, like it's not that it's being sexist. No, it's being, and people are afraid to be honest nowadays. What we look at nowadays is like, it's true. It's our feelings. Well, I feel that I can do this. Well, you know what? I feel that I can fly, but if I jump my ass off a 10-story building, I'm done. You know? Yeah. And it's not, people don't look at numbers anymore. It's it's like, we're supposed to be this, like they say, there's science deniers. Yeah. Well, you know what? Numbers are basic science. You know, 2 + 2 = 4. You know, and you look at the numbers and you have to start looking at statistics and you see they're like, what was it? Milo Yiannopoulos, right? Yeah. Which is known for hating feminism and everything.
He's a provocateur.
But the guy makes some points and he says, you know, that feminism isn't what it's about to be. And then you also look at the, Gavin McInnes from Proud Boys, right?
Yeah, founder of fucking Vice, dude.
He even told a lady one time that, look, you guys should be idolizing stay-at-home moms because that's what feminism is about. They're staying at home, doing whatever they want, while the man goes home and provides for them, right?
Much,
So now there's this one girl, I forgot what her name was. She's like this ultra feminist now, and she even said that it's not about being the same as men. We want to be better than men. We want you guys to serve us. And I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't that the same thing that Gavin McInnes said?
Exactly.
What got in trouble for? Yeah. When he just said a woman should stay at home and have a man take care of them. Yep. But now she's this ultra feminist. And it's like, you want to be better. You want to be served. It's like, but because you're from a certain point of view, it's okay for you to say it. Like,
and here's the big thing. And this is a while back. I have family members that are, you know, gay and lesbian. But one particular person, and of course I always protect the innocent and I mention who it is. They were irate at me because I specified that the whole transgender thing.
Yeah.
Fallon Fox. You
Okay,
familiar
yeah,
with her?
yeah.
How born a man, trans into a woman, sucked in men's MMA. And because men's MMA did not work out for him, he trans into a woman, got into women's MMA, and what happened?
Yeah, started dominating.
He beat the lights out of women. Is that right to me? No.
Yeah.
No, man. Now that boils down. You answer me this question, Mike. Should they have a trans division?
I really don't think so. Like, if you have the properties of a man, you should fight as a man.
Like the young girl in Texas with the wrestling team.
Yeah.
She was a girl started
taking hormone steroids.
And she wanted to compete with the boys, right?
Yeah.
I say let her.
Yeah. I mean, if you're taking the drugs to become a man and that's what you want to be, then
obviously these people have not seen Raylene Guzman at Sure High School making boys cry. Little cute girl. But if that person wants to wrestle with the boys and they're already going through the transformation, why not? It's only fair.
Yeah, I mean, because especially for when you're going female to male, because you're taking these testosterone shots, so you're getting this extra boost that most normal girls don't have.
It's a very, very, very significant,
it's basically
substantial
like
boost,
taking
man.
Steroids, but it's a natural testosterone boost where most girls, as they're starting to form estrogen in their body and become more womanly, you're not. So it's like you're building more bone mass, more muscle mass and everything. And then you're going to say, oh, no, but keep wrestling with the people that don't have your advantage.
Especially with this whole Fallon Fox thing, it's like, okay, if say, for example, you sucked at a sport in the men's division. In this case, it might have been powerlifting. You came up short every single time, and then Mike once says, you know what? Fuck it. Chop it all off.
Yeah.
And be a woman. And then you got into women's powerlifting. Your opinion, is that fair?
No, I mean, they have stories of that. Was that one guy who did that as a powerlifter and started dominating women's competitions?
That really did happen.
Yeah. And then they have one with a high school track athlete who went to women's and is dominating in high school.
That is
and it's like,
man.
Okay, so the evidence is obviously clear that not good as a man, destroying it as a woman.
Right. It's obvious because,
what more do you want?
And then taking into account
even
the bone density.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yes.
Not good as a man. Won Woman of the Year as a woman. Obviously much better.
I don't, man. And that's a whole different story for me because I'll make it a point, Mike. I hate publicizing that fucking family. Mm-hmm. So I hate them with a passion.
Yeah.
And I get shit on that because then you get what did they do to you? And I'm like, man, I don't want to get into it, but let me just say this for the record. I'm not going to give them publicity at all. There's people in this world, from entertainment, politics, even socioeconomic, I guess, gurus that quite frankly, they are just a horrible fucking influence in this world. They are.
That's just the whole... And you learn this, growing up as when you see people that are so interested in you, and like going to high school, where and you're like, why are these people so interested? Like you get these issues with coworkers, whatever. It's like obviously your life is that horrible that you have an issue with me,
right?
But now what we've done is we put that on TV, so we have all these people that their lives are meaningless, and so it's like I want to see what other people are doing.
Exactly.
I want to see how they're living. It's like, who cares how they're living? It's like the old Bronx Tale movie.
Yeah, I remember.
Mickey Mantle ain't gonna pay your bills, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, at least sports is one thing I want to watch. Who's better? But when I'm watching these people who've done nothing and will do nothing for me live their life, it's like, and it's not even them now because you turn on whatever TLC and it's Southern Charm. There's some kind of black tattoo
TV
show.
Man. Yeah.
There is Love and Hip Hop. The Real Housewives of however many states they want to go.
Even like Montebello now.
Yeah, it's like, and all people want to do is sit home and watch how other people live when you could be living your own life.
Yeah,
just
very fucking true.
Now, I'm not gonna say my life's exciting, but
you at least know.
But I'm doing something with my life.
Reality from fucking fantasy, and I think that's I don't want to say that's the main root cause of what's forming this perspective with the youth, but I want to say it's a humongous contributor to it.
It's not a main root cause, but it does help, because when you look at, I think the number one question asked to most younger children is, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's famous.
I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I want to work on my Instagram.
And that's how my two younger kids are.
Like,
my youngest son wants to be a YouTuber. Like Jake Paul,
Oh, man.
And I'm like, okay, but like do something with it. And I told him, so you know what? Take a class to learn how to program and learn how to make videos and learn how to edit, so that just in case you decide I don't want to be a YouTuber anymore, I know how to do. Don't just go in front of the camera and do stupid shit.
Yeah,
and,
which we see a plethora of.
The couple where the girl shot the gun through the book and killed her boyfriend with the 50 cal Desert Eagle,
All because it was a prank.
Yeah, because I saw it done before, so I'm gonna do this on my show. Jesus. And I want people to follow me and get ratings.
Or the stupid hot water challenge. Have you seen that?
I just saw that something you posted on that.
What the fuck, dude?
That's lack of common sense. Okay, now that will fall on parenting. Okay?
Jeez, man.
That goes back to the age old, the oven is hot, do not touch the oven or the stove,
Yes.
And learn it once, Everyone has to touch something hot and be like,
I don't know what to say. It's like, but it discourages the fuck out of me, because this is the youth of the future. This is the future of our country.
This is what we're leaving everything to. And everyone says, we got to leave the country a better place for the kids.
And this is happening
all our problems,
almost every fucking state here in the country.
That comes down to a parenting issue. It's just, common sense. Tell your kids.
Autonomy is cool, but you have to make sure that when you let the little bird fly on its own from the nest, make sure it doesn't get lost. Make sure you guide them. Make sure you give them a map. Make sure at least you give them that advice, like, hey, you're going to fuck up. You're going to fail. But guess what? You just got to get up. Don't bitch about it. Keep going.
You got to let them know that life isn't going to be easy.
No, it's not.
Okay, so I was watching this video today. And trust me, like, as much as I complain about technology, I love Facebook. I'm always on there, just sometimes I'll just watch videos. And
it's funny because I think our generation is the one that are probably more attached with than baby boomers.
Yeah.
The youth is not into it.
It's all about the Snapchat
or Instagram.
And they're like, so some of the high school wrestlers I coach are like, you're on Facebook? I'm like, what do you mean? It's all about Snapchat and Instagram. I'm on Instagram too. I don't even have Snap. I don't know how to. I have a Twitter account, never used it.
Someone told me one of the, because I was working the track meets, someone told me, man, you have a lot of streaks. And I'm like, streaks? And I'm like, what do you mean? And like, on your Snapchat, you have a lot of streaks. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't get it. So I had to go on, of course, my Urban Dictionary fucking sources. And it's basically like if you and I were just Snapchatting each other consecutively for fucking 2 weeks in a row. And it's like it's like added value to our friendship. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Like my wife does Snapchat, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. But like, I'm tired of Facebook, honestly. Like I wanted to make my own.
Still on there.
I wanted to make my own like website, but I'm an idiot when it comes to technology. Yeah. So I'm like, which is like I said, which comes back to the fact that it takes hard work. If I really wanted to do it, I would have done it. Done something about it.
Let me ask you.
I'll just ride the back of Facebook.
Let me ask you this question, because you're in tune with what's going on with that company. What if it does tank? You think people?
I think it'd be a good thing.
Like done, they close.
It'll
be like MySpace.
What's the worst that like I said,
people are just gonna freak out.
Everyone always on Facebook, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen if I actually call you on the phone and say, hey man,
it's gonna be like,
what are you doing?
Hello? Hey,
who is this? Yeah,
Mike, you have a voice.
Yeah, like or even if I text you, I text you to your like we did today to get here.
I still text. I still enjoy texting because it's a one-on-one or group conversation.
I still prefer conversations over the phone.
I do, man.
My wife starts texting me.
I prefer this too.
And I tell her, look, it's going to take me too long to text. I'm just going to call you. Okay?
It's better
we can have a 30-second conversation or a 30-minute text back and forth.
Yeah.
Because people are like, tell me what's going on. I'm like, I'm not going to text you about that. I'll call you instead. And then you call them. Don't you hate when you text someone? Yeah. And then you call them and they don't answer?
I hate
that. The phone's obviously in your hand,
Or I get like, I'm texting back and forth, and then I call them, and they're like, "Well, I'm texting you. Just text me." And I'm like, well, "What the fuck, dude? Like, I could get my point across quicker." But
Facebook gets your message out to the masses, to all my 50 friends I have on there.
That's why I get so much shit for my feed, because apparently one of my my Libby buddies, I like to call them. Yes, I have a lot of liberal friends that just give me shit day in and day out. So first thing in the morning, that's the first thing that pops up on my messenger feed.
So it's not just Anthony and
No, Anthony and Eric. I mean, I love those two motherfuckers to death, dude. But I know them. I know what they're doing. They're not stupid. They're very intelligent guys. Now, however, I can't speak for other people, though.
Yeah.
Other people are taking them very seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so fucking crazy.
I get pulled into the rabbit hole too, where it's like sometimes
they fucking tag you in the comment
thread. No, it's just like sometimes you'll make a comment, right? And you're like, okay. And other times you see something so like asinine, I'm like, I gotta fuck with this person. You know, dude, I gotta say something.
Fucking...
And you know, and then you feel bad after, like, and you see like 50 messages later, like, where did I start? Like, seriously, I gotta go to work.
I think, okay, as a man, and this is as a masculine straight man, I think that the whole testosterone thing I posted about, I think it's true. If you do have high levels of testosterone, you get fucking pumped on seeing somebody else get pissed off.
I think it's because you're showing your dominance. You're like, look, I made
my tribal, my fucking like, DNA just kicks in. And,
like,
okay, now
you're so dumb and I'm so smart that I'm gonna make you lose your shit right now.
Right.
And then like I do it, and then sometimes I'm like, what did I start? Exactly. What did I start? Like, why? I don't have time for this.
I'm the same fucking way. It's like, we were talking about it earlier. They're like, a lot of guys agree with me. Like, fuck, that explains a lot. But I think that's just in our nature. Like, I know gay friends too that are the exact same fucking way.
Yeah.
Like they get fuel with testosterone when they see their partners fucking get pissed off and upset.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, it's a DNA thing. But
that goes to the old adage that men are different from women. As much as you say that, like, testosterone is completely different. You know, women don't do that. Like I said, you see these videos, why do women live longer than men? And men do a lot of stupid stuff, you know? And it's like, you can't tell me that they're the same, because, like, I'll do something dumb or say something dumb, and my wife will look at me like what are you thinking? You know, like, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I thought it was funny, you know? Like, I thought it was I'm gonna do it. And she's just like, no, we went, that's not funny.
Like going to Big Bear and tubing for the first time, you're going face first on the fucking thing, and there's a slope, and boom, I ate total shit, and I'm like, fuck. And then I actually punched the green trash can because I dropped the fucking horchata you saw when I busted my finger open. And I'm like, fuck,
that was because of low testosterone. Remember that?
Probably.
That was pretty much like, I mean, it's funny. You know,
it's well, I mean, bottom line is the whole premise of this conversation that we're having too is to educate, hopefully, my young audiences of all fucking, you know, sexual preferences, man. I don't discriminate, but here's my biggest fucking issue, and Mike can agree with me. If you are in it just to fucking bitch, complain, and not get anything done, especially with work, then you are fucking digging an endless fucking hole to nowhere, man. Like, why? If you're unemployed, right?
Yeah. And
I have a saying that being unemployed is also a full-time job. If you're unemployed, you have a fear that you're going to get kicked out, or you're going to get evicted. Your fucking cable bill is going to shut down. You're not going to have Wi-Fi. Why doesn't the fire under your feet start fucking burning? That's what I don't get. And they make excuses.
That's because most of them are still living at home with mom and dad. And even though I'm not working, you know, you have that nest there,
like that 30-year-old guy with his parents kicking him out.
His dad had to sue him to get him out. I was watching. God, okay, so like I said, watching a video today on Facebook about these geese, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says this little, I think it was a goose, whatever. It could have been a duck, whatever. Yeah. It's like this northern Alaskan, whatever. So it's hanging at the edge right of the cliff, right?
Yeah.
And it jumps off and it's floating, free falling right there. And I was like, oh, what an inspirational video. Yeah. Young goose just taking flight. And then it hits the rocks and hits like 10 rocks.
No.
And in my mind, I was like, yeah, that took a dark turn, right? the duck ends at the duck ends up at the bottom of the cliff, and it's or goose, and its two parents are there.
Yeah,
and the little baby gets up like nothing, and I'm like, what? It just hit itself on rocks, like, and they said something about the resiliency of these geese when they're babies is like they're super strong, and so that's how they learn to fly. Man. And well, you know, we like Adam Pearl says, we shelter our kids so much that you actually break down your kid's immune system. It's like, no, go out in the backyard and play with dirt and get sick and get over it and get bug bites and get germs because your body needs that. But it's
the only way you build a callus for your body.
But we've gone so far as to like not even no dirt for my child, but no negative words, no negativity for my child because he's not gonna. And what we're mentally handicapping these kids. Where
I'm like, wait till they play sports and get a fucking ass chewing, dude.
And that's what they say. You're trying to get rid of basically competition.
Yeah, that's not good, like, man.
Everybody's equal. Everyone's not just as good.
That's why, I hate to say it, Mike. I mean, I was a firm believer of capitalism until I don't know what fucking wrench in the gears got thrown, what monkey wrench, but it's not what it used to be, man.
Well,
we can't start a business no more, you and I.
Well, but that's not capital, that's government right there.
Fuck
because the government says nowadays they see you making money. The government, it's like I said, like I understand you're like, I don't vote. Both sides are screwed.
I'm guilty. Just for you guys listening, I'm guilty as charged. I don't vote. I'm fucked up for that. I should vote, but I think I'm just discouraged because of the electoral college thing.
Oh, but both sides aren't great. I'll admit that.
They're not.
But you got to look at the core values of both sides.
Yeah.
And then you kind of see like, okay, well, and why I'm a Republican is because I see one side saying, hey, go do what you want.
Yeah.
And the other side saying, hey, we're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't want you to take care of me because you don't know what I want.
It's like mom and dad.
Yeah. I want to do what I want. Don't take my money.
It's like divorced parents.
Yeah. And tell me like, hey, this is what your money's going to help. Like, but show me, and the government, like especially California, we're one of the.
Oh yeah.
And everyone says like, oh, but California is the 6th biggest economy in the world. But if you actually add in like the pricing of houses and living, our economy drops down to like something like 21st in the world because we can make a lot of money and we have a lot of import export, but we can't afford to buy houses.
No, we can't
because everything is expensive.
Yeah.
And we can't start a business because the government says, hey, well, do you have this? You got to pay for this permit. Got to pay for this. And it's like, why am I paying you to make you more money? Because once my business starts, I'm gonna have to start paying taxes again on that. And
it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, and it's like
what the fuck, dude?
And then they turn around and say, well, look, California's losing its millionaires and billionaires in droves going to Arizona, Texas, because they're tired of all the red tape. And
there's just too many.
Yeah, I mean, look at our governor built a train to nowhere, which it started off, I think now it's at like $88 billion budget, and you've done nothing with it. Yeah. It's like, why? When we were in a drought and he could use that money to fix the aqueduct system, and instead we got all this record rainpour and wasted most of it because it just went out to the ocean.
Even the impoverished issues that we've been having in California, I don't like to put rich people on blast, but they can really help just alleviate, not eliminate, alleviate that issue. But I get the retrospect, like, hey, I'm earning all this profit. You mean to tell me that that's gonna my contribution is gonna help right away? And there's a lot of uncertainty with that shit. Because say you and I were fucking, I don't know, we were owners of Amazon, like this dude Bezos. They're like, okay, Mike, okay, Edgar, can you guys contribute $2.5 million to restoring, I don't know, the whole Montebello Unified School District schools?
Yeah.
Okay, what would be the first thing that pops in your head?
I'd be like, I'll do with my money what I want to do with my money.
That would be my first. I'm like, okay,
because why would I give the government money?
We were targeted because we're alumni of that school district. So I'd be like, okay, wait a minute. What are you trying to sell me here? And why should I give you 2.5 million? on the
Well,
spot?
I mean, you just answered your own question in your Facebook post where LeBron James opened up a school by himself.
That's fucking amazing.
To pay for people's colleges without any government interference.
That
and
is,
and that just basically shows how, and everyone always says, the private sector, they're greedy, but you know what? They do more because the government, you got to remember, if I spend $1 million and give it to Uncle Sam, well, it goes into 50 to 100 different senators' pockets.
Yeah.
And then you get a small percentage that goes to the schools and everything.
Yeah.
Where as a rich person, I could say, hey, I need a tax break.
Yeah.
I'm going to donate $10 million to this school so they can have it. They can do what they need to right now.
Yeah.
Instead of going through the system. And I mean, people just don't see that.
The whole thing is people don't understand how the money works, how it travels, and fuck the feds, man.
Like they say, remember during last winter, they had that joke that said it was so cold I saw a politician with his hands in his own pockets. And it's like, yeah, because that's what we're used to. But the sad part is that's what we're used to. And people don't want to do anything about it. It's like it's not, and it's not the fact that you can't. It's just people need to edge. We're so used to seeing something on TV or on the internet and say, "Oh, that must be true." The sky is red. Oh, I guess the sky's red. Instead of looking up, and that's what I've learned. Like, okay, Google, obviously, they lean left. If you look at a lot of their stuff, they lean left.
Yeah, they do. Totally.
But if you look deep enough, if you just do the 5 minutes of work and you look up, okay, what's this? And then it gives you its top list of whatever, and you keep digging further, you'll get the answers. But people are too lazy to do that. People say, "Oh, the news said this, so yeah, I'm going to believe that."
They settle for that stuff, and it's like, no, man. If you if you take the time, which most people don't want to fully comprehend. This is why I really, really admire Joe Rogan. If he doesn't understand something, he'll go in depth and try to find out exactly what it is, how it works.
For the most part, I can say he gets like, he's like a 7 out of 10 for me.
And this motherfucker surrounds himself with geniuses.
Like, I like a lot of his stuff.
I'm a huge Jordan Peterson fan, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a avid
Which is
Jordan
what I don't
Peterson
get
fan.
is that you follow people like Jordan Peterson, but then you do have some like left-leaning politics, and I'm like, how does that squeeze in there? Because like Jordan Peterson, like
my whole thing is if I have to find a balance between, I guess because as much as I want to be Switzerland, I can't.
Yeah. I mean,
but I have to look at both because, and this is what I noticed, and a lot of you have pointed this out. A lot of my feeds, since I'm considered a moderate according to Facebook standards, I get a lot of left-leaning news feed.
Yeah.
I don't see PragerU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything from. If I do see Vice, is something to do with diversity, of course. I don't see anything from Gavin McInnes anymore because I don't even think he's on there anymore. I think they banned him.
Probably. I mean, I haven't seen him, and I don't even. I hardly
Sam Harris.
I hardly see what's his name.
Ben Shapiro's still active.
I see Ben Shapiro a lot, but I don't see Steven Crowder as much.
No,
anymore.
And he was one of my fucking favorites.
These are a lot of
because he doesn't give a fuck. He'll put up a good debate.
Yeah,
and
okay. On that topic,
yeah.
However, we're gonna have to take a quick break so I can use the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
and then and we'll go back on the topic because I did some research on that and you'll see what the political spectrum's all about.
This is the part where I just let the camera just roll and I talk about nasty things. But yeah, man, a lot of the reason I wanted to have Mike on the podcast is simply because he brings a different introspect to not just life, not just politics, but overall just living in general. I've had some great conversations with Mike. I really have. And I've known him so I've known Mike since 1997. That's I think roughly around the time we met. I believe he was a freshman. I was a junior or a sophomore. I can't remember. But I've had an array of different guests, and I mean, I don't really stand anywhere politically. That's the fucked up part. I'm desperately trying to be Switzerland, quote unquote, but I can't. Because I have so much friends and family that are pulling me in each direction. But what I like about Mike is he doesn't pull me in either way. And the people that we were talking about earlier, they're just people that we've known for so long, and we've gone to school with them, and They have solid perspectives on certain subjects, and a lot of it is because they firmly believe that quote unquote left-wing media is force-feeding people on the internet, on search engines, on the TV. But my perspective, and I'll just give you my perspective, is read all of them. Read them all. You have to. The reason why, like I said, if you seek comfort, you're not going to really learn much. You need to seek different sources, even if it's like something stupid. Just read it for the fuck of it. A lot of you don't. That's the problem too, is a lot of you don't like to read. And because you don't like to read, you don't find the answer to your questions, and you just settle for whatever fucking plate they served you. So,
what I want to know is why we didn't get the big studio with the drum set so you can play some drums.
I know, man. That would, I was about to.
You used to go to back in the day? Just sit there and, Edgar's the greatest drummer ever. Anyway, okay, so going back to that, yeah. People don't look anymore. So, and you're always posting like, this is what it says I am on the political spectrum.
Yeah.
But if you look at the political spectrum nowadays, what it shows you is the left, socialism.
Yeah.
The right, fascism.
Yeah.
Basically what it shows you. But if you just do the basic amount of study, with the Webster's dictionary, it's going to show you socialism, fascism, basically are government control.
They are.
So what the people I say is, the right, those are fascists. They just want to control everything. But it's like but they don't.
Yeah.
It's fascism. It basically goes, there's liberalism, Democrat liberalism, socialism, fascism, communism.
Yeah.
Right. And on the right, if you really look at it, it goes, Republican, and then it goes more actually libertarian, Republican. And then after that, it starts going to less government, which when you end up at the right, you end up with anarchy because you end up with no government.
Yeah.
And people are always like, and you look it up too. And it's funny because if Google says, if you look up certain terms, it says fascism is a right-wing form of government. And it's like, but it's not, but you have to look because Facebook, Google, YouTube, they're left-leaning.
They are left-leaning.
And as much as you try to not to bring politics into it, they're
dragged in.
Yeah, they're trying to brainwash you almost to say, look, this is what we think is right because this is what we believe in. And that's why Dennis Prager has a lawsuit against Google and YouTube.
Wow, really?
Because they've censored 40 of his videos already.
It's funny because Alex Jones cried on air because his stuff is being taken down from different platforms too.
They're censoring Steven Crowder and everything.
Why are they doing that though?
Because they want to get their agenda across. And obviously politics has, and so going back to capitalism. There's capitalism and there's crony capitalism. Okay. So say I build chairs for $5 a chair, right? Great deal. Now my competitor builds chairs for $5.50 a chair, right? Mm-hmm. But he greases the palms of a couple senators and everything. Okay. So what they say is, we're going to keep you in business because you're going to get a government contract. So now what they do is they pay him with his government contract. So every time, the president has a party, guess who gets to provide the chairs? He does.
Okay.
And so he doesn't have to worry about the market because he's got money coming in. And so what happens is...
what about you?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm fighting against the public and his customers. Yeah. And that's what you call... And that's government gets something that's called crony capitalism. Now, if free market capitalism basically says you have something that I want.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't satisfy my demands, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And most people say everyone always gets mad. The baker that said no to the gay couple, right?
Right.
Okay, well... you don't have to go and sue that person. What you say is I'm going to tell all my friends that you won't bake a cake for me. Yeah. And then all your friends go to the baker across the street, and the baker across the street
write a bad Yelp review like everyone
exactly.
else does.
But everyone no, serve me now. No matter what I want. It's like, no, I don't have to do that. And I will take the backlash of it. Remember when they used to have no shirt, no shoes, no service signs? Yeah. That's always been like the unwritten rule of a restaurant. I don't like you, I don't have to serve you. Yep. But now it's like, no, I'm special. So
because you're a business owner, shouldn't you you have rights to refuse service to anyone?
Yeah, you do.
And I know they're trying to make it about LGBT thing.
Well, they're using that, but okay. Look at Sarah Sanders. Yeah. She got kicked out of a restaurant, and most people are saying, oh, look at the Republicans. They're crying about that. Look, I didn't have a problem with it because that's the landscape that we live in. All right. Yeah. However, the only issue that I found was, okay, if you're going to kick someone out because of their political, views,
right?
That's something different because now, like, the political view has, everyone has different political view. But
shit, I've seen families being torn apart because of that shit.
Now, if exactly. But okay, so this baker, he had a religious view. Right. Now you can't. That's kind of something a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Than because that's something that maybe he was raised on. Maybe that's something what he believes in. And as I'm a Christian, Yeah. And I see a lot of stuff out there, and it's just like, no, that's not true what I believe in. Everyone always posts, oh, Christians hate gays. No, it's not that.
No.
It's if you look into our beliefs, you'll see that, it's not. Okay, God doesn't hate gays. God doesn't like sin. Okay, and according to the Bible, guess what? Everyone's a sinner.
Yeah.
So I'm no better than you.
Yeah.
I'm no better than this guy. I'm no better than that guy.
Yeah.
But people are they want to pick out because you offended my sin. Like God, according to the Bible, God hates drunkards. God hates gamblers.
Yeah.
God hates adulterers. Like you're not special.
Yeah. It's a very
it's almost like Slayer. God hates us all.
Yeah, but it's very. I know a lot of it is self-deprecation because I hate to say it, but a lot of humility is learned that way because a lot of people just don't know how to be humble.
Yeah,
because they feel that they're fucking invincible.
They feel that they're entitled.
Yeah.
So what they want has to come now, and it's. And the sad part is we saw this growing up. I mean, one of my favorite movies, and I'm glad that my daughter likes it, was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Right? And you see all the different traits of all these different horrible kids. And the one poor kid, is the hero of the story, like Veruca Salt. I want it right now, Augustus Gloop, And it's like, and then you see this one kid who's just happy to be there.
Golden ticket, man.
And I tell my kids all the time, and my wife tells me, like, you're hard on the boys. And I tell them, well, yeah, because you know what? Life's going to be hard on you. You're going to get a boss one day that's going to be a jerk. But guess what? He's also going to sign your paycheck. So you're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah. And then, of course, then you have the chance and the opportunity that you'll learn that, okay, if you don't like that job, then go find another one.
Yeah.
And don't complain, bitch. And like, I'm like, dude, you need to leave.
We've stopped teaching kids to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's not even the punches anymore. It's like, you looked at me like you were going to punch me and that offended me. It's like,
God, I don't know what else to say, man. Anyway, we're reaching an hour here. I don't want to, I'm surprised if you guys are still tuning in and actually watching this shit. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'm sure Mike does as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to hear. Like I said, I have a lot of friends that have different views, and they're still my friends. And the other day, one of my friends would come out and say, you know what? I want to kill all babies and I hate you. And I'm like, you know what? That's your view. You're still my friend. I might not agree with it, but, in the end of the day, I'm not going to hate you.
And for the record, for those of you watching and listening, Mike has been my only conservative buddy that wanted to come on the podcast. I've asked a bunch of other people and they said no.
I mean, most people
it's like if they're going to show nipple on camera.
Well, I think most people are scared to show their view because it's not a popular view anymore. When really it is, because a lot of them hide. How do you think Trump won the election? Because every poll had him losing, and in my mind, I knew it because most of them don't want to say it, but deep down they're like, I'm going to vote for him.
I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, you just got to come out and say it. Like, this is why I like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
people that I wouldn't expect that voted for him, they told me why. And that's what I appreciated is they told me who they were going to vote for and why.
Yeah.
Okay. When you explain to me your purpose and your intent, I have a lot of respect for you, whether it's good or bad, because you've deliberately told me, okay, this is why I'm going to do this. This is why I'm going to kill this motherfucker. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I want to have Mike again soon. Usually I do this without video, but I guess I figured it out. Also, again, I'm going to plug this company in, and I'm sure Mike has seen me on Facebook, spread word about it. There's this company called Soundfy. Soundfy, of course, is 3D audio. You go into the movie theater with your headphones, and the app syncs with the film.
I saw that. I was wondering.
It's pretty fucking trippy. I was fortunate enough to work with them in the first test edit.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. But
so you don't have to worry about kids crying in there because you got your own headphones on.
You know what's funny is people, that's the first thing, like, yes, no more crying babies and crunching popcorn.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got 4 kids. And when they talk to me during the movie, it pisses me off. I'm like, shut the hell up.
And I didn't come here for you to talk. I want to see with Soundfy how it's going to work with children with headphones, with animation, with any kind of like cartoon. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see because I've done that with my own son with his headphones and his iPad. And he's locked in. He's calm. He asks questions when the film's over. I don't know what it is. I mean, I could get more deep into the science, but I still haven't figured it out.
But it's almost the sad part that's what we need to pay attention to movie nowadays. It's like
because of
our
so
attention
much
spans
shit's
are so
going on.
God, man, I can't even go to escape reality because now I need help to escape reality.
And then I have to catch myself doing that sometimes. I'm like, fuck, I've been on my phone for like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
remember that was when internet first came out and you do the YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and you're like an hour and a half goes by. You come out, and the sun's out, and your beard's all on.
Dude,
you're like, what?
I did that with pride fighting. When I first discovered
the Pornhub rabbit hole, right? You know?
No, it wasn't back then.
Remember back then when you had to wait for the picture to load?
RedTube, yeah.
And it was the free ones? And the picture would like, oh, I saw nipple.
Thongdreams.com.
Oh, man.
But, hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Ed Namrok Podcast signing off. Thanks
for listening. Thanks for having me on. You know, it's good to always connect with people. You know,
we'll talk about more shit in coming episodes because there's a lot of things happening in the world. So, but hey, thanks guys. We'll see you soon.